Art Energy's Premium Blend Series presents exclusive interviews about the oil and gas sector with the industry's best managers and analysts.
Our focus is horizontal redevelopment of existing vertical fields. Everything we target is pin-age sands, so they're relatively shallow. Typically they're 9,000 feet true vertical depth or shallower. We're still drilling a little bit. We've got 5 rigs. We're looking at paring that back as we go into this year. What's been able to keep us going in that is a very robust hedge book through 2016. So we've always been disciplined hedgers and always looked out ahead of our program. And so that's allowed us to run rigs longer and have an appreciable amount of volumes to deliver over the course of this year. We think of ourselves as conventional guys. We've got a pretty deep breadth of experience in our management team dealing with conventional reservoirs, and we think the reservoirs we're targeting are conventional. And the way we break it up, the way we think about it is the reservoir self-sourcing. That's how we define the unconventional, because that was really kind of the game changer of the way we thought about it historically through the industry, which we have only really one zone that fits that category. Everything else is, hydrocarbons have been from a source bed leached into a reservoir rock, and we're exploiting the reservoir rock. And so the reason that's a big distinction is the unconventional development, it keys on different drivers and metrics for productivity and consistency. Ours is very heterogeneous. It changes, so it's a lot more work, I would argue, to be a conventional development. But if you're willing to put in the work, the science is there. It's been there. It's always been there. It's been there for half a century. If you're willing to put the work in, you got the guys who know how to interpret it, you can really improve your probability of success in these plays and these targets. And that's essentially our whole development plan. Mm-hmm. They're conventional reservoirs and they are tight, but I would argue they're not as tight as unconventional. So we've worked different sands. I've worked different sands over my career that they're nano-Darcy type perm, which I would definitely call unconventional. These sands aren't quite that tight. They have enough permeability to be able to flow oil. So we produce about a quarter oil, about a quarter NGL liquids from the gas stream, and then about half residue gas. So it's that combination of commodities is kind of helps the economics, gives us some redundancy. In the Cleveland specifically, what we've been targeting is an overpressured condensate play. So it's very high volume due to being overpressured. It's got excellent deliverability. It's difficult to develop because it is a thin target. It's a very small target to hit with the horizontal wellbore, but that's where our team's strength lies. We are very good horizontal drillers, very good small target drillers. And that's really the key to success, in our opinion, in the Cleveland is hitting the target, landing in that zone, which may be as small as 10 to 12 feet sometimes. But that zone has excellent productivity. So if we can hit the zone, land the lateral, get an efficient completion, we've seen some pretty outstanding well results. Our default is the slick water. It's a very clean, formation-friendly fluid. And then we're kind of, I would say, in the spectrum of completions, somewhere kind of in the middle. So we've seen other operators pump much more volume, higher volumes of sand than we pump in a total job, but we are still kind of what we feel like on the higher end. There's been a very good correlation, particularly in the Cleveland, over the last 4 years in Anadarko, of total proppant pump to EOR. Stronger correlation than you usually see on a first principle like that. So there's definitely a breakover. We think the sweet spot's somewhere between 3 and 4 million pounds per total lateral. Our average lateral length is somewhere around 4,600 feet. And so that's kind of our go-to recipe, and then we jump pump rates and concentrations and how fast we ramp the concentrations depending on what we see in the wellbore, where we land the lateral, how clean the sand is, and so forth. There are some additional targets like the Douglas where we're using a little bit of a hybrid gel frac design, but primarily we're sticking with the slick water.
To learn more about this topic and others, check out this month's print edition or the daily updates on this website.